listening to AFL Nation for Macca's new chicken tenders, made for snacking.
Hooker's front and centre. Roving was Danaher. Takes the ball, has a bounce, has a second bounce, runs in. Danaher goes bang. He's got two. Boko shouldn't miss from here. Stabs at the ball, but that's good enough. It's a goal to the Blues. Their first for the afternoon.
Howlett with a handball over the top. Expecting McDonald, Tipungwuti to go. He paddles it in front of him. It's still alive. It's still alive. He'll get the goal. That's one of the goals of the season. Amazing. He just persisted. And that second, third, fourth effort from Anthony McDonald-Tipungwuti.
First quarter highlights for the TAC. With police now conducting more drug tests in more places more often, your chance of getting caught if you drive on drugs are now much greater.
Bombers lead by 22 at the first break at the MCG. Essendon 5-5-35, Carlton 2-1-13. The news not good for Orazio Fantasia for Spitwater. He's done his right hamstring and is gone for the rest of the day. Let's go around the grounds thanks to Aviator X-Pro from Bayer. 20-minute mark of the second quarter at Manuka Oval. Giants 8-7-55, Melbourne 4 straight 24. Liam Pickering, Robert Walls, impressions on the first quarter for Red Energy.
Just quickly, my view is that one team's trying to play fast, aggressive football and try and get the corridor, and that's Essendon, and the other team is just really hanging on, and that's Carlton at the moment, playing very slow footy. Join the thousands of Victorians every year who cut their betting with Gamblers Help. It's free, confidential, and it works. Search online for Gamblers Help. As we get the second term underway, umpire Lee Housen with a good bounce, won by Bell Chambers, rode by Petreski-Seaton, the man who kicked a goal on the siren at quarter time. Doherty collaborating with Murphy in the middle of the ground and kicking long. Hurley favoured, but he did the right thing. He did the team thing and kept Thomas out of the contest and allowed Gleeson to take a virtually uncontested mark. He's had a good month, Martin Gleeson. That's a mung, an absolute mung to the wing. Petreski-Seaton and Parrish were contesting. Off the ground goes Wiedering. Thomas takes the mark. Can they get an early goal to follow up from that late goal in the first quarter? That'll buoy their spirits. Thomas goes very wide into the pocket, and it just comes over the back where Hartley takes a pretty simple defensive mark. He uses Bagley, and he's back in the goal square. He's defending at the City end.
With one of those very fluoro bright pairs of Nike boots is Bagley. As he chooses the members' side, he kicks to a contest. Wiedering did well for Carlton.
Well.
Yeah, got the handball off to Petreski-Seaton, back to Wiedering. Now back to Petreski-Seaton, still on the half-forward flank. He's gone short to Murphy, but he's put it out of bounds on the full. So undid his good work there, did Petreski-Seaton, and it's a free kick to Essendon at half-back. Members' side, they're heading to the punt road end in this second quarter, and they lead by 22 points in the first minute of the second term. Two really good contests by Wiedering the first two times he's gone for the ball in this quarter, so he may have been addressed at quarter time, and he needs to be a bit more get front position where possible. Hooker kicks to the wing, knocked on by Danaher. Doing the roving is Green. And he's knocked off the kick by Armfield, and we'll have a throw-in on centre wing. A couple of little men, aren't they? Den and Joshy Green. A couple of little fellas.
Remember that game last year with Dennis Armfield? He
kicked
4 goals. Four, I think.
Yeah,
it was like he brought his own footy that day. Nobody could believe it. Knocked down by Bell Chambers, but he's given away a free kick to Cruiser for a push.
What do they say? Even a blind squirrel can find an acorn every now and then.
That was a big day for Dennis.
Good on you, Den.
Cruiser kicks up to the wing. Good spoil by Goddard. Could have been a free kick to land, but the umpire elected not to pay it. Zaharakis goes backwards with a handball. Myers, a very high kick. Difficult one to mark. Cruiser gets underneath it. Little man in green just nudged him underneath it and took his concentration away. Simpson taken in a very strong tackle. Down he goes, and we'll have a ball up. The tackler was Josh Green, laying a Toro Time Cutter HD tackle. The all-new Toro Time Cutter HD, built for comfort and speed. Bell Chambers knocks it on, only as far as Pickett. He did well, weaved his way through traffic, got the handball to Gibbs. Gibbs screws the ball around the body to about 65 metres out from goal. Oh, it's a bad mistake in the Bombers' defence. The handball went straight to Fisher, who banged towards goal. It was headed to the goal square and then took a left-hand turn and has trickled over the line for throw-in in the Blues forward pocket.
Simmons stats: Goddard with 12, Merritt 9, Myers 9, Zaharakis 8, and for the Blues, Wiedering 9 and Doherty 9.
I think just on that, I think they've got they look like they're a bit sharp at this start of this quarter, the Blues.
Throw-in, Cruiser against Bell Chambers, who got the tap. Bell Chambers, ball spills free. Collier attacks it, so does Thomas. Ball still alive in Carlton's forward pocket. Hacked out by the Bombers defence to the 50. Doherty, desperate attempt to mark, couldn't do so. Green, nice pickup. Got it off to Zaharakis. He gave it to Danaher. Back to Green. Green pops one over the top to Myers. He retreats backwards and handballs to Gleeson, who bravely kicks into the corridor, and it's come off. It's marked by Howlett, who gives it back to Zaharakis.
Well, now they're away.
Zaharakis is off to the races. He's got runners out wide, and one of them is Myers. Myers looks for Stewart, and as he was falling, he just couldn't take the mark, and Jones is there for the outnumber. They had 2-on-1, but it's coming back in because he's kicked it straight to Hooker. He wanted to give the handball to Zaharakis. Instead, Gleeson's making position out wide. Hooker's fancying his chances here. Not sure why, because the man on the mark's at 55.
Kicked himself, didn't he?
Well, you would have thought so. There's nobody in the goal square, so they don't think he's going to go for it, and they were right, and he just pulled the kick. Now there's a free kick here
against Danaher.
Oh, that should be 50 every day of the week,
and it will be, I think,
yes, against Danaher for a whole play.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so Hooker fooled nobody. Nobody was getting back in the goal square, and Joe just he gave Lockie Plowman just a little ear massage, and then a 50-metre penalty, so that marches the Blues up into the centre square. Let's check the score. Essendon 5-5-35, Carlton 2-1-13. Around the grounds up at Monica Oval, Giants 10-7-67. They put the foot on the gas. Melbourne 4 straight 24. That's for Aviator X-Pro from Bayer. Giants are killing them now.
Plowman drives it to the 50, going up uncontested, and taking the mark for Essendon. Is their number 2, Tom Bell-Chambers.
Been a forgettable sort of 4 or 5 minutes this quarter, hasn't it?
Yeah, as it was, yeah.
That's skills.
Bell-Chambers handballs backwards to Goddard, who loads up on the right boot to the members' wing, but it's straight down the throat of Wiedering. So it's very sloppy 5 minutes from both teams. Wiedering bangs it long, back inside 50. Casbolt sets himself, and the strong pair of hands grabs the Sharon, and he will line up directly in front, 35 metres out.
Here's a Simmons home stat for you, boys.
Yeah.
Carlton are going at 20% by foot in this quarter so far.
Yeah. They've got plenty of the ball, though.
They've looked better, haven't they? They've looked better, and at least they've been more direct. And we saw that kick. OK, it was marked by Bell-Chambers, but at least they went long towards Cruiser. And Withering, long kick to Casbolt. He needs to finish off, of course.
For goal number 29 for the season, Casbolt has missed badly to the right.
It's a bad miss.
It is a bad miss. Just to behind, Essendon 5-5, Carlton 2-2. And we've gone 6 minutes second term on the Kubota 40-year anniversary scoreboard.
Just around the grounds for Bayer, Aviator X-Pro from Bayer, 17 scoring shots to 4 in the Giants' way.
Melbourne had the first
7.
3.
So they kicked the first 3 goals. It's been 17 scoring shots to 1 since.
Hurley's kick to the wing. There's LJ. Liam Jones, the man who's been reborn in that defensive post. Armfield making position wide for him. He elects to go more direct than that, and he's kicked it straight down the throat of 2 Bombers. And Ambrose takes the mark. Now, Zach Merritt's copped a little one here, and it's going to be a 50-metre penalty. The Chemist Warehouse replay might be interesting. There's just a little bit of discussion going on from Goddard, directed perhaps towards Armfield or Casbolt. We'll see if we can pick up anything on the Chemist Warehouse replay, but just a shirt full of sore ribs for Zach Merritt at the moment. The kick comes out wide. It was ill-directed, but Zaharakis, after that 50-metre penalty, spots up Parrish, who's by himself. No one within 15 metres. It's got the feel of a late season game at the moment as Parrish goes inside the 50, and they were troubled by the sun. Only one wasn't. It's Liam Jones again.
He's good. He outmuscled Danaher there.
Yeah.
It was good work by Jones as he goes to the half-back flank members side, marked by Doherty. He goes back into the corridor and finds Gibbs, who takes the chest mark.
Look at that kick.
He's overcooked the kick. No, he managed to stick up the one mid. Petreski.
Have a look at Casbolt. He's on Gleeson. For God's sake, kick it to the big bloke on the little bloke.
Petreski Seaton decides instead to handball to Doherty, who kicks to the wing and finds Thomas.
Yeah, by the time it gets down to Casbolt now, Wells, you're right. They've mucked around with it. It'll be 3 on him.
Well, they've taken 4 marks and they've advanced 20 metres.
Good decision by the umpire. The Thomas pass to Murphy was not 15 metres, and the umpire was awake to that one. Good umpiring, and eventually it goes over the line for a throw-in.
7 minutes on the Ray White clock in the second term. Essendon 5-5-35, Carlton 2-2-14.
Just having a look at the Chemist Warehouse replay. Levi Casbolt gave an elbow to... It was a bit of a cheap shot, actually. An elbow to Zach Merritt behind play. In the ribs.
Another stoppage here on centre wing.
Yeah. And the umpires today, Lee Housen, Sam Hay, Simon Meredith. Bit of bruise-free football going on at the moment, boys.
bit of ordinary footy, that's what it's been.
Yeah.
Skill level in this quarter's been horrendous.
And now it comes clear of the pack, so can they get something going? Bagley just put his head down like a ram and went charging and knocked the ball to Merritt, who gave it to Zaharakis, one way then the other. Merritt continued to run. He's in a paddock, nobody near him, and Watson said keep on running, and the kick unfortunately for the Bombers was ill-directed. McDonald, Tip and Woody getting in there to try and lock it up, and he will, and it's just outside the 50 that Essendon are attacking.
One thing you will say is we talked about Joe Watson at the start of the game, yet to have a kick. We've gone 8 minutes into the second quarter. He's had 3 handballs only.
And we've just had one behind in those 8 minutes so far in a very forgettable second quarter. The Bombers have got the ball inside their 50, and yet again umpire Housen's going to put it in the air, which gives us another opportunity to check the score at Manuka Oval. Giants 10-7-67, Melbourne 4-1-25, approaching half-time.
They are lining up for goals here, though. The Demons through Pedersen.
Heppel with a handball to Zaharakis, who's got busy in this second term. Kerridge with a handball backwards. Oh, Gibbs fell very awkwardly there. For a moment I thought he might have hurt himself, but he bounces straight back up again. Stewart's got it to Zaharakis, tries to squeeze a little kick. Murphy was awake to it. Marchbank had it and lost it. Down it comes to the ground again. We've played 9.5 minutes.
This is not good football.
In the words of umpire number 5, this is Scheisenhauser.
Oh.
It's not great at the moment, that's for sure.
Punt road end. Essendon into attack. Here's Armfield. He was tackled when he didn't have it by McDonald, Tip and Woody. Umpire let it go. Spills to Heppel. He's gang tackled by a couple of blue baggers. And another stoppage. 55 out from the Bombers' goal. Ray White clock. 10 minutes gone. Second term. Essendon 5-5. Carlton 2-2.
Dyson Heppel just 6 disposals. He's normally double that amount at this stage of the game.
Yeah, they're the two that are just been a bit off this year, haven't they? Heppel and Watson.
A whistle here. Something happening off the ball. It's going against Howlett, or is it going to? Yeah, it's going against Howlett. And it's going to be taken for Carlton by Murphy. I think it was for a block.
Well, they were hot on that last night, corner, so they've signalled their intention to make that the rule of the week.
Murphy goes short to Kerridge, who switches to the member side. Beautiful kick. And he finds Jones, who kicks down the line looking for Pickett. Went over his head. He lays the tackle low on his Essendon opponent. It was a good one. And we've got a stoppage here on the members' wing.
He did well there.
Oh! Merritt's just whacked.
He hit
Plowman in the guts.
And we saw it, but the umpire was blindsided.
Well,
he didn't see it.
Well, one thing's for sure, the cameras will see it, and it was a left jab, and it was quite a powerful one too. Plowman went down. He's up now, and he's okay. But that will at least result in a fine, if not more.
It's dumb, isn't it?
It was stupid by Merritt. He's having a ripping game, and that was a bit of a brain fade.
Clever.
Beautiful, stuffed up by Pickett. He grabbed the ball, spun out of trouble, kicked a centering kick. Goddard's underneath it. Great use of the body by Lamb, but he's been penalised for a push in the back, and it's going to be taken by Goddard in the last line of defence.
He's not very subtle, was he? Unfortunately.
Subtle as a sledgehammer.
So Goddard's got the ball, and he kicks to the members' side half-back line looking for Hooker. Can't take the mark, kept his feet. 55 metres out from the Blues' goal. Getting a bit willing now as it's picked up by Heppel. Gives it off to Parrish, who kicks to Danaher on the wing, but it's intercepted by Doherty, and he's away.
And he does do that a lot, Doherty. He almost gave an intercept of his own towards Heppel. Pickett's got it for Carlton. What will he do with this kick? It's slightly better, and Matt Wright gets it just above the ground level. And the leading goal kicker from last year, who's had another good year with 26 goals, will kick from just inside the 50.
I reckon the two things we saw with Pickett make you think that there's a future for him.
Yeah,
he just looked a bit classy, didn't he?
He did. That one before in particular, where he did the blind turn and then tried to send. I thought he was having a banana shot on goal, I must say, but he kicked it up to Jed Lamb. And then that time there again, very, very clever with the ball when he had it in his hands.
Just in game number 7, Jared Pickett. Matt Wright is in game number 135. He's going to kick from 45 metres, worse than a 45-degree angle. And that one starts right, comes back nicely, and he's got his first goal of the afternoon and his 27th goal of the season. So that's good for Carlton. It's taken 12 minutes. It's been a real arm wrestle, but they haven't allowed Essendon to score, and they are back to 15 points on the Kubota 40-year anniversary scoreboard. It is Essendon 5-5-35, Carlton 3-2-20, and we're just having a look on the Chemist Warehouse replay screen.
I reckon he'll get a week for that.
What Zach Merritt did.
I reckon he'll get a week for that.
So when you say that, do you think it was any worse than Duncan last night?
I would say it was worse.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. There's a lot of conjecture around today about whether Duncan gets a week.
Yeah. I would say a fine for Duncan.
Yeah.
But I reckon that was more extreme.
was just silly.
What do you think, Rob?
Yeah, I think he'll get a week.
Yeah,
I think Merritt will get a week. Casbolt into the ruck.
Down it goes in the middle. Bill Chambers got the tap, taken by Petreski-Seaton. Got it off to Bokhorst, who's on the southern stand wing. He has a bounce. Doubles back and handballs to Thomas. He punches the handball out. It was a poor one to Kerridge. Put him right under the pump. But the Blues get it back. A soccer off the ground lands in the arms of Doherty, who concedes some territory. He kicks backwards to Plowman, who marks half-back flank. Southern stand side of the ground. The Blues heading to the city end. They're 3-2-20, Essendon 5-5-35. Almost 14 minutes gone, second term on the Ray White clock. He goes short by Kerridge. Still at half back. Now the switch is on. He kicks back into the corridor and just finds Marchbank. But now they've got a Lucy on. That's Wiedering, but he falls over as he takes the mark. So
Kerridge gets it a lot, but you worry every time he gets it as to whether he's going to turn it over or
he gets
not.
it again as Wiedering goes short to him, and then Kerridge goes short, and it's marked by Bokhorst.
They actually are playing a lot better this quarter, though, the Blues.
It's been played on their terms now, isn't it?
Well, the whole Essendon aren't running as much as they were in the first quarter. They don't look as dangerous.
Long kick to the wing, and that's a good mark taken by Casbolt.
Carlton 47 marks, Essendon 29.
Casbolt loads it up and kicks long. Curnow,
good mark.
Too strong. And he was going to give it off to Silvani, and now he thinks better of it and needs to go back and kick the goal from just inside 50.
Exactly where Wright kicked his goal, Pete, about a minute ago.
And we know what a good kick this young man is. He can thump it.
Distance certainly not going to be a trouble, but tell you what, they get this, if he can kick this.
They're back in it, aren't they?
Oh, word, they're back in it.
He'll get it drive the distance when it looks like he's only playing 3-iron. Curnow from 48 metres out, and he half kicked it and waited for it to come back, and it just hung out to the right instead. So it's being played on Carlton's terms at the moment, as Quarter said. 3-3 Carlton, Essendon 5-5, 15 minutes in the second quarter. Kubota 40-year anniversary scoreboard.
Goddard goes short, and it's marked by Hurley, deep in defence. He kicks with the right boot. Long to half-back members' side. Big pack fly. Front and centre was Zaharakis. Good handball out to Green, who manages to find Danaher by hand in heavy traffic. Danaher handballs to Heppel. Twists and turns on the members' wing. Gives it back to Merritt. Merritt handballs back to Myers, who from a standing start chips the kick and turns it over. Marked by Simpson. He plays on straight away. Gives the handball to Murphy. Not a lot on offer. Little inside out number was quite clever to Wright, who gathered it. Got caught high. And he'll get the free kick. So Wright, who will line up, he'll be kicking from about 48 metres out on a very slight angle at the city end. And this is within his range. And he'll go for his second goal. And for Carlton's fourth.
Gee, it was a nice kick by Mark Murphy. He was running onto his left side. He cut back onto his right. And he just thought, is there anybody I can get a pass to? And he had to do a little boomerang 30-metre chip. Bounced in front of Wright, but he was able to gather it up, and then he got the free kick across the throat.
11 goals, 3 from set shots this season. So here's a beautiful kick for goal. Matthew Wright. From 48 metres. And he has missed to the right. 1-1 to Matthew Wright this quarter. Essendon 5-5-35. Carlton 3-4-22. The margin 13 points. And we've been going 17 minutes in the second term.
McKenna with a bad kick. It was almost intercepted by Gibbs. They're not out of the woods just yet. Hurley needs to get it out of there, and he does off the one-step left foot kick. Good. Jones takes a really good look up and mark of the day contender. Carlton right on top in general play here, and now it's Essendon looking tentative about everything that they do.
Silvani's hurt. I reckon he might have done his shoulder.
Jones taking a long time to get the ball in. We'll keep an eye on that injury. Big pack jumping. Down it comes to Baguley. He's wrapped up in the tackle. Gibbs arching the back and running away. Man in the goal square. Matt Wright, goal. Carlton are all over the Bombers at present. 17 minutes on the Ray White clock in the second quarter. Matt Wright's kicked his second goal, and the Blues have got 4, and the margin's back to 7. Essendon 5-5, Carlton 4-4. Quarters, what are you seeing with
Jack Silvani has hurt his right shoulder, and he is coming off the ground. He looks in a lot of pain. Running off, but doesn't look flash.
See, Matty Wright's a good little player, isn't he?
Yeah.
You said he's got 27. That's going to be his 28th now. Is that right?
Yep.
So he'd be the leading goal kicker again. Is that right?
Yep.
No one's got more than that.
Okay, Casbolt has. Casbolt's got all, but they're both on 28 goals now.
Yeah. Not bad for a little fella, isn't it?
He's been great value to Carlton.
The
couple of years he's been there. And Petreski Seton, terrific handball to set that up.
Just didn't want to wake up here. Carlton are taking it right up
the
to
bounce. It's gathered by Gibbs. Gives a handball to Thomas, off to Doherty. He kicks towards Cruiser. He got a bad bounce, but got the footy in the end. He swings onto the left and kicks an absolute pie floater. And it's marked by Merritt on the defensive 50 for Essendon, who goes straight into the middle, and then marked by Myers. Plays on. Handballs to Goddard. He sold the dummy beautifully, and now he kicks, looking for Green. Wiedering won't get to the contest, and Green takes the mark at the punt road end, southern stand forward pocket. He will line up 25, 30 metres out on about a 60-degree angle.
And good play by Goddard. Took that handball receive in the centre square, sidestepped an opponent. He's had 15 disposals. That's as many as Doherty. They're both leading the disposal count on the Simmons home stats.
Josh Green has already kicked one the Savo, and he's only 30 metres out at worst at the punt road end. And he kept it low, and he's stabbed at it, and he's missed it to the right. So bad miss there for Green. Essendon 5-6, Carlton 4-4. 19 and a half gone. Second term on the Kubota 40-year anniversary scoreboard.
And it's Cage Simpson who's got it, shielding his eyes from the sun at the punt road end of the ground. Comes to the member side, the broadcast side, and Stewart takes a virtually uncontested mark.
By the way, Pete, that was Essendon's first score for the quarter, 20 minutes.
And Stewart goes in short as they search for their second one. Collier gets on the end of the Danaher handball. He's bending it around the corner, and Simpson got back in the goal square and played the role of the goalkeeper. Got good protection from Doherty. Simpson goes for a couple of bounces, and then he tried to chip it over the top of Howland, who's got men queuing up inside. Couldn't find them on the full, but Joe Watson should kick the goal, and he misses from 20 metres out, not under a lot of pressure. And the Bombers just can't get one on the board yet in this second term after 20 minutes. 5-7-37 to 4-4-28. The margin is 9. Kubota 40-year anniversary scoreboard.
Looks down on confidence, Joe Watson.
First kick quarters for the game.
Really down on confidence. Petreski Seton goes short and sideways.
He looked rushed, and that's usually when your confidence is down. I mean, he would have eaten that kick, for the last 10 years.
Marked by Simpson, who kicks in the Curnow direction. Good brave stuff from Heppel just to get to the contest and knock it out of the hands of Curnow. We'll have a throw in. Essendon 5-7, Carlton 4-4. Plenty at stake for the Bombers. They must win this match today. They want to play finals. They're 9-9 so far in season 2017. Bell Chambers against Cruiser. Cruiser got the front posse. Merritt's there for Essendon, taps it in the Heppel direction. He's wrapped up nicely by Petreski Seton. Spills to Merritt, effective handball, intercepted by Kerridge. He has one bounce, no one home, so he kicks it long into the forward pocket, and it bounces over the line for a throw-in. Not a bad result for the Blues. They get a set play here, and it's a throw-in just 10 metres out from their goal.
Billy Smets has not touched the footy.
No disposals. 22 minutes into this second quarter, he has not touched the footy.
And he's been on the ground. How long has he been on the ground? 60% of the time.
Bell Chambers and Cruiser going at it. Bell Chambers the front spot. Collier gets it out of the danger zone. Awkward bouncing ball here. Umpire needed to get out of the way. Eventually he did, the way of McDonald, Tipping-Woody and Simpson. What about that from McDonald, Tipping-Woody? Ducks under the tackle, and Josh Green has got a paddock in front of him. Only needed a good bounce. He runs to 40 and dribbles it through for a behind, and that is a result of the chase that came from Liam Jones. Well done. He had 5 metres to make up, and he got there in enough time to put pressure on the kick. That is the 1%ers the coaches love. Green misses. Essendon 5-8, Carlton 4-4.
Wiedering goes long, looking for Curnow. Well done by Watson to spoil. Excellent effort. Curnow's got it. He's tackled by Tipping-Woody, holding the ball. Magnificent one-arm tackle from McDonald, Tipping-Woody. And then he pushes Curnow into the turf and says, "Cop that." And then he kicks into the hole and finds Danaher.
I tell you what, he's a beauty, Tipping-Woody.
Is he ever?
He's an absolute beauty. Shrugged off the Smets tackle in the centre square a minute ago. Caught Curnow with a terrific tackle there, and then nonchalantly put it on the boot and said, Big Joe, you come at me, I'll put this pass down your throat. That's exactly what he did.
And he'll line up on a 45-degree angle 50 metres out of the punt road end.
You feel for Liam Jones, don't you? That great chase, and then it's not his fault it's turned over. It's because Charlie's taken on the little bloke.
Danaher for his third. And that is a shocker. He's missed everything. Out of bounds on the full. That's Essendon 5-8-38, Carlton 4-4-28, 23 minutes gone, second term.
Good news for Carlton quarters. Jack Silvani waiting to come back on.
Might have been a stinger, Pete.
Yeah, for Spitwater, as the Blues bring it out of defence through Thomas up towards Curnow, who did nicely and then wheeled and dealed and uses that long kick that he's got to kick it up in the direction of Casbolt. Down to the ground it comes. Well done by Wright, who got it across to Fisher. One way, then the other. Wrestling match going on behind the players. The ball is dumped inside the 50. Zaharakis has got it for Essendon. Everything they do is hard work at the moment. Gleeson nearly decapitated Collier with the handball. Now Hurley to Zach Merritt, who might have some troubles after what happened. This wrestling match is still going on.
What was that? The Irishman.
Yeah, McKenna took a swing to Wright, and Wright didn't like it. They were wrestling behind the play, and McKenna had a fresh area.
He thought he was McGregor.
It went on for about 30 seconds, and they will both be at the end of their tether now. Ball's come off hands of Wiedering out of bounds, but they just continue to go at it, those two.
I'm glad McKenna's swing didn't connect, for everybody's sake.
We're just having a look at the Chemist Warehouse replay. Matty Wright hanging on for death, and Connor had a swish.
Murphy gets the ball from the ruck contest, but it's a floating, wobbling kick, and it's ineffective. It's marked by Hurley on defensive 50 for Essendon. 5-8 plays 4-4. It's been an unattractive quarter, to say the least, but McDonald, Tip and Woody's found some space on Member's wing and takes the mark uncontested.
He's a beautiful kick, this bloke.
He chips in the direction of Heppel, who takes the mark.
Well, they haven't kicked a goal this quarter.
There's
Essendon.
the lead from Danaher. He gets it on the half volley.
Oh,
But Jones is up to it, and he tackles, and he's gone for holding the ball. Carlton players say to Danaher, stop being a show pony.
That was a bit cute, wasn't it?
It was quite funny, though. Quite amusing, I must say.
It was worth a try.
You get away with that in the schoolyard.
So Jones kicks to the wing, looking for Curnow in front. Can't hang on to the mark. Silvani's there. He's tackled by Heppel, and will have a bounce. So it's on the Members' wing. Silvani still doesn't look 100% with that shoulder problem, but he's back on the ground. It's Essendon 5-8, Carlton 4-4, 25.5 gone second term. From the bounce, Heppel. There's a whistle here for a hold.
It'll be an Essendon free quarters.
Essendon's way in that stoppage, and it's going to be taken by Heppel. So Dyson Heppel in between wing and half forward, Members side punt road end. Essendon have scored 3 behinds this quarter. The Blues have kicked 2 goals, 3. It's been a bizarre, weird second term. It's Heppel. Pumps it long inside 50. Jones does the spoiling. Spills to McDonald, Tip and Woody. Keeps the ball in play. Now it goes over, and we'll have a throw in 35 metres out of the punt road end from Essendon's goal.
Well, a little over a minute to go in this second term. As good as the Bombers were in the first quarter, they've slowed to a crawl in the second term. Just the 3 behinds.
Throw in. Ball comes in a Marchbank. He has a fresh area at it, taken by Stewart. He's tackled well by Gibbs. Now that could be holding the ball. Umpire says no prior opportunity, so we'll have a bounce. 45 out from Essendon's goal. Been much ado about nothing this term, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been an ordinary quarter, except for Carlton, who's kicked the 2 goals, and they've been more direct, which has been pleasing.
27 minutes almost ticked over on the Ray White clock. It's inside Essendon's attacking 50. Bell Chambers goes up, gets the tap. A lot of players around the football. Stewart's one of them for Essendon. He grabs it, tries to bust his way through the pack unsuccessfully, and we'll have another bounce, still about 40 metres out from Essendon's goal at the punt road end.
Even if Carlton get a quick kick out of this back pocket, it'll come back because Essendon have got numbers setting up the wall.
Cruiser to Zaharakis, got that snare. Got it to Merritt, but his kick's poor. Goes back into the middle of the MCG. It's a little one-on-one contest here between Goddard and Lamb one out, and he chips inside 50. Here's an opportunity for the Blues. He puts it into space. It's gathered by Pickett. He twists and turns. Gleeson on his hammer, gives it back towards Boakhurst. He screws around on the left foot. It's all Essendon here. In front is Heppel, and that's a mark. Well under Dyson Heppel. Stood his ground as Kerridge bore down on him, and he has taken the mark deep in defence. There was an opportunity lost there, for the Blues, Rob.
Yeah, they had a fast break. Goddard went to ground, which gave the Carlton team a chance to score, but not to be. Heppel getting back there, filling the hole.
He kicks the half-back flank out of side, and another ball up. 5-8-38 Essendon, Carlton 4-4-28. 28 minutes gone in this second term.
Only about 10 seconds on the clock. Carlton's half-forward flank. You'd think they'd be the only team with a chance to score.
Chambers the tap. And then he goes on top of the footy, and that'll be it for half-time. So, strange old quarter. Essendon have kicked 3 behinds for the term. Carlton have won the quarter. They've kicked 2 goals, 3, and they're back in the contest. 5-8-38 the Bombers. The Blues 4-4-28. For Essendon, 2 goals to Danaher, both in the first term. Singles to Green, Hooker and McDonald, Tipperwoody. While for Carlton, 2 goals in that second quarter to Matthew Wright and 1 apiece to Petreski Seaton and Blaine Boker. So half-time here at the MCG. It's the Bombers over the Blues by 10 points. This is AFL Nation, thanks to Macca's.
You're listening to AFL Nation for Macca's new chicken tenders, made for snacking.
Matt Wright is in game number 135. He's going to kick from 45 metres, worse than a 45-degree angle. And that one starts right, comes back nicely, and he's got his first goal of the afternoon and his 27th goal of the season. So that's good for Carl. Big pack jumping. Down it comes to Baguley. He's wrapped up in the tackle. Gibbs arching the back and running away. Man in the goal square. Matt Wright, goal. Carlton are all over the Bombers at present.
First half highlights for the TAC. With police now conducting more drug tests in more places more often, your chance of getting caught if you drive on drugs are now much greater.
Half-time at the MCG. It is Essendon 5-8-38 leading Carlton 4-4-28. Time now for the Choices Flooring half-time floor show.
The Choices Flooring half-time floor show. For the floor you've been searching for, visit choicesflooring.com.au. This is AFL Nation.
Yes, 5-8-38 the Bombers. Carlton 4-4-28. Just 2 multiple goal scorers in the match. Joe Danaher's got a couple for the Bombers, both kicked in the first quarter, and Wright kicked 2 goals for Carlton in the second quarter. Our Red Energy expert today is Robert Walls. Your thoughts, Rob, on that first half of footy?
Well, it was all Essendon the first quarter, and they had the 10 scoring shots. Carlton kicked a goal on the quarter-time siren to get their second for the game. And Essendon looked fantastic. They had Goddard just mopping up everything across the half-back line. Zach Merritt was getting plenty of it in the midfield. And up forward, Joe Danaher, he started the game off in great fashion. He was able to kick a couple of goals and looked really dangerous. To Carlton's credit, they came out and slowed the game up a bit in that second quarter. They started to get the clearances, and we saw Murphy and Petreski Seaton start to get a bit of the ball in close. Cruiser started to win the hit-outs, and the other thing that Cruiser did was follow up his own ruck work and got out into a bit of space and was able to outrun Chambers. And so Carlton started to look okay. Liam Jones, he then started to get a few marks against Joe Danaher. It was all one-way traffic early Joe's way, but Liam Jones, to his credit, fought back. It was a big job against him. Tipperwoody was magnificent in that first quarter and again in the second quarter, but Essendon just didn't get the ball up into their forward 50 enough, and as a result, the Bombers only kicked the 3 behinds for the quarter. So at half-time, you know, there's only 10 points in a low-scoring game, so
they're back in it.
I reckon Carlton are back in at quarters, and I would think that John Worsfold will be saying to his players, you've got to be prepared to move the ball on quickly. Carlton play slow footy. Essendon at their best play fast footy. It's interesting, if you have a look at the kicks to handball, Carlton's had 112 kicks and just 51 handballs, but they've had 53 marks, so they like to keep possession through slow kicking to a teammate. He goes back, finds a teammate, and they just sort of crab their way upfield, although they did get it a little bit quicker in that term. But for Carlton to win, they need Casbolt to kick 2 or 3 in this second half. They've only kicked 4 goals, and consistently they don't kick any more than 8 or 9 goals for a game. I don't think that'll be enough against the Bombers.
With a flooring choice to suit every lifestyle, visit your local Choices Flooring store or go to choicesflooring.com.au. It's half-time in the other match, another important match too, between the Giants and the Demons. At half-time, it was 67-31 in favour of the Giants, who went on an absolute scoring spree late in that first term. Let's see the half-time highlights. The callers are Russ Barwick and Ben Hart.
Delidio and Cullen Ward about to come on. Here's Scully again. Little mini barrel towards full forward. Needs a bounce. Going to get a bounce. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The call came. You heard it. Needs a bounce. The ball gave it off. Now here's a chance. Kelly off the right boot. No way. 3 out of 3. Wow. Not directly in front, but not far off it from Dylan Shear. One of the nicest kicks in the Giants. For goal number 8 of the quarter. And he's kicked it straight over the goal umpire's hat. The Demons have kicked 1 goal, but they are in trouble here because play on the call. Cullen Ward runs into an open goal and converts. Well, they've played a good quarter according to Ben Hart. Now that's a much better quarter. Giving a free kick, and the umpire said, yes, you've got one. It was a delayed reaction. I'm not sure what happened there. Have a look. The Chemist Warehouse replay. It was almost
we'll check that.
5 seconds after. Now, Mummy rarely kicks. Just kick it over the goal umpire's hat.
Bang,
which he duly does. The big man
points to the sky on the way through.
Mumford gets his 4th goal of season 2017, his 51st career goal, and he's loving life.
And that was the halftime score, 67-31. Since then, the Giants have banged on another goal and just hit the post as well. So now they lead 11-8-74. Melbourne in trouble, 5-1-31. Rob, the Tyre Power Player of the Year. Who gets your vote so far on the Tyre Power Player of the Year?
I think at this stage of the game, Brendan Goddard, he's been rock solid across the half-back line, used the ball really well. We saw him get that ball to Green just before half-time. Unfortunately for Essendon supporters, Green missed, but I think Goddard's had a terrific first half.
Tyre Power's Player of the Year brought to you by the Tyre Dealers of the Year and the Apprentice of the Year. Build your future in building and construction with Builders Academy Australia. Which of the youngsters have been doing well, Rob?
I really like what I've seen of Jared Pickett. He doesn't get a lot of it for the Blues, but when he gets it, there's a bit of class about him. Another little bloke for the Blues is Zach Fisher. Is, again, not much of him, but he's going to be a 100-game player, I would think. I like Connor McKenna for Essendon. It's just his 29th game. The Irishman, he's learning what the caper's about, but he's quick and he's prepared to take the opposition on. And James Stewart continues his good work as a tall, third tall in the forward line for the Bombers.